All right, friends, welcome back to One Stage at a Time. Today on the podcast, we're playing through the stage Manic Mincers from Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Today, you've got me, Andy, your host, and joining me as always, my co-host, Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
And back on the pod again, our good friend, Jared Vandergriff. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Delighted to be here.
Hi, Jared.
Hello.
Again, we are recording from a distance because the coronavirus is in full effect. So we are locked down in our respective gaming bunkers, playing nothing but Donkey Kong Country. It's the only way we can stay sane during this crisis.
Yes, normally when we're recording, we're in the same room together, using microphones and holding hands. But alas, we are separated by just a swarm of virus out there.
It's hard to play the game, though, when you're holding my hand.
I mean, you know, like, but it's worth it.
It is worth it. Yeah,
It's worth it.
It emotionally validates me, which is important.
I keep trying to make you share and like, I'll do the D-pad and you do the buttons or vice versa, but you never go for it. You're too independent of a gamer.
A 2 players, 1 controller situation.
Yeah.
That's people do that at like speedrunning events at marathons and stuff. It's wild. I watched a couple of guys play Punch Out where one was working the buttons and one was working the D-pad at a GDQ recently. Crazy stuff.
Well, I bet people who like do it as an exhibition are pretty good at it though, huh?
Dude, yeah, they're out of their gourds. I watched a guy play Punch Out for the Wii blindfolded, and he beat the whole game without dying. It was insane.
Wow.
What?
I mean, yeah, the
Like,
meat computer was overclocked. It was insane.
Like, that doesn't surprise me though. I should be astounded by it, but these days I'm just so like, yeah, of course someone can do that with a video game.
Are the patterns in that game that predictable that you could just do it from muscle memory, or are there like audio cues or something?
So there's audio cues. Yeah,
okay.
That's the main thing you're listening for. And yeah, there is like some memory. There's like timing to like your combos and things like that. But a lot of it is just audio cues. But
That makes sense.
Even so, it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
One of the most completely cuckoo bananas speedruns I've ever seen in my life. Just even the guy was surprised that he did it. It was completely mental.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. But here we are. We're just a trio of normal core, filthy casual gamers doing our best to struggle through Donkey Kong Country.
How dare you?
I might actually be less than average core, if I'm being honest.
Mediocre.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, this is I know you struggled a little bit with the previous stage that we played, Tanked Up Trouble.
Mhm.
Aaron, you also I think had some difficulties with Tanked Up Trouble. We're in the Chimp Caverns here. This is the sort of the last world. It's hard because there is another world after this, but the last world is just one stage. So really, this is the last world. But we're on stage 6-2 now, Manic Mincers. And what do you guys think? What are some of your impressions of the stage Manic Mincers?
Jared, let's start with you.
Sure. So once again, I looked up a video of this one, mostly because I didn't finish the previous stage, and I don't care to. So I'm stuck in my game.
Blocked.
Yeah.
That's where we're at with Donkey Kong Country, folks. This is where everything has led up to this.
Yeah. If there was a level skip or something, or if I could just like select a level, I would play it. But
it's funny you should say that. There's something I want to say about level skips a little bit later, but go on.
So yeah, my opinion doesn't matter, but
that's not true, Jared. We value your opinion. We long to hear it.
But also, why are you here?
So this strikes me as another precision level, much like Tanked Up Trouble, but maybe a little less punishing than that one is. Although not by much, because there's a lot of like by the skin of your teeth, dodge this, whatever the mincers are supposed to be, tires with spikes that are somehow sentient. We can go into that later, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure this is a topic we'll circle back to, but what is the deal with the mincers? Are they biological? Mincers? Are they mechanical? Some kind of mix of both? Truly a baffling enemy.
Indeed. Aaron, what was your overall impression of this one?
My overall impression of this one was I quite liked it. That's certainly much more than the Tanked Up Trouble. Certainly much more than Tanked Up Trouble. Overall, I had fun with this level, but it was still pretty challenging. And like it was challenging, but I still beat it. I beat it dying only once.
Nice.
So it was also like it was challenging. Like I was scrambling a lot, like but I still made it through. So like was it too easy? I don't know. Maybe not, because I beat it, by the like skin of my teeth. But it was still really challenging, and I had to scramble, and there were lots of close calls where I thought I was going to die.
Jared, you didn't die at all. So I think that means that Aaron died more than Jared on this one.
I didn't try at all.
That's the first key to not failing. Don't try and you can't fail.
Try.
Yeah. Manic Mincers. So a lot of close shaves there, huh, Aaron?
What about you, Andy?
Yeah. Thank you for asking. I like Manic Mincers okay. It's not one of the standouts. We're back in the caves. It's the Purple Caves. We've got this track that I like by David Wise, this kind of ambient one. We've talked about this. This one takes 90 seconds before it finally gets to the melody. So you kind of just have to sit and wait for it. But I dig it. The stage itself, kind of a tough one. I don't know. So I like Tanked Up Trouble, actually. I like it a lot. And I know that, for you, it was one of the tougher stages. But no, I dig that stage. I like how unique it is. It's a cool mechanic. Manic Mincers, I guess the gimmick here is just that there's so many mincers in the cave, but that's kind of the whole thing, isn't it? You were just rolling through this purple cave and there's just mincers everywhere. And it just all the obstacles are just jumping over mincers or timing it to get past a set of moving mincers. It's just mincers everywhere. I can't believe how many times I've already said the word mincers in this episode.
Should keep a running tally, really.
Yeah.
Aaron, go ahead and when you're editing this, tally every time we say mincers.
I'm definitely 100% going to do that for sure. So when you were talking just there, it kind of struck me well, I guess not, but I was going to say mincers are kind of a redundant obstacle because you've already got the Buzzy Boys, the zingers.
Yeah.
And they perform pretty much the exact same function and can behave in any way that a mincer does. I guess you can't kill mincers with animals at all, and you can zingers, but at the same time, just don't stick an animal where a mincer is,
yeah. Right. Yeah, mincers are invincible. That's really the only difference.
Yeah. It just struck me how they could basically function exactly the same. These could all be zingers, and the level wouldn't change one bit, really.
The mincers are stealing jobs from zingers. That's what's happening here. The zingers want to be paid more, but the mincers will work for peanuts.
It's a commentary on automation in the workplace.
and cheap labor that's being imported from foreign countries.
Oh no! So the Kongs are taking advantage of the Kremlings, and the Kremlings are taking advantage of the zingers.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it all.
There
just
are no innocents
downhill.
on Kongo Island.
There are no heroes in this piece.
Nope.
Except for Manky Kong. As we've established, Manky Kong is the only one on the side of the angels here.
I'm going to choose to believe he doesn't know about the zinger abuse.
I wanted to mention the bonus stages in this level before I forget. There's a few of them here. So let's see. There's two real ones and then one fake one. Do you guys remember in the middle of this stage where there's a random door that you go in And then you go through a little area where there's mincers going up and down. Then you go out another door, and the other door you exit from is on like the same side of like the big rock that you went into the first door on. And then when you go out the other side, there's a DK barrel. And like, it's kind of a unique thing. This doesn't actually count as a bonus stage, even though like it behaves like a bonus stage. And even if you get hit inside of it, you don't die. You just get booted out on the other side as if you'd completed it. So,
That's interesting.
From what I've read, it doesn't count towards bonus stage percentage, even though in all other respects, it's a bonus stage.
Huh. I might have missed that one. But
Interesting. It's pretty obvious. It's like, because you don't bust open the door. It's just wide open right there.
Huh. So I remember I rode Rambi all the way to the secret area with the 3 clap traps.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got into that one and I died pretty quickly. Those 3 guys, they got me. So I got to that one, and then I saw the one towards the end.
Yeah.
The one towards the end that I actually ignored at first, because in my brain, for some reason, I thought it was the exit. And I was like, oh, if I can go past the exit this time and find a secret area over here. So then I went past it and I found the actual exit. And so I was like, dope. But I don't remember. I don't remember the one you're referring to. I guess I just breezed right by it somehow.
Well, what do you mean you saw what you thought was the exit?
Well, so like you see the little arrow sign, you know?
Yeah.
Indicating that the exit's near. Pretty much right after that is a doorway up above.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, that was pretty close to the end for me. So it was like that. I didn't think that that's what you're referring to. Okay. Yeah, no, I ignored that one, thinking that it was the actual exit, and thinking like, I'm going to be sneaky. I'm going to ignore that exit, and I'm going to see what's over here.
Oh, yeah. It's like in Super Mario World when you would like fly under the exit to find a secret exit.
Right. And I was even thinking like, oh, this is new. They haven't done anything like this before, I don't think. And then.
And then no.
Yeah.
But no. Well, nevertheless, that's what it is. It's a little not bonus area that just gets you to a higher platform where you can get a DK barrel and a TNT barrel. And actually, that TNT barrel is used immediately to open the real second bonus area, which is through a fake wall down below there.
They gave me a few TNT barrels that, like, I kept thinking were for secrets, but then they were just to kill crushes.
Yeah. Lots of crushes.
Yeah, because you want to be Diddy the whole time.
What do you guys think of the Crusher as a Crimling? I think he's pretty tight.
I like him. I think he's pretty tight too. He's not particularly any different than like the Clomps, really.
Yeah, well, not yet. We're going to see the Crushes later that even Donkey Kong can't defeat, but these like bluish purplish Crushes, DK can defeat them.
Mm-hmm.
But aesthetically, they're definitely different. I like how they have like the muscle tee on.
Yeah.
When you try to jump on them as Diddy, they laugh at you, which is great.
Yes, they're very cocky, muscly, oily crocodiles.
Yeah, they're hanging out at Muscle Beach in California, like
just lifting
pumping
weights.
iron, blowing up medicine bottles until they pop.
Is that a thing that they do in Muscle Beach?
Yeah. That's
I don't think I've ever seen that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. That's like a strongman thing to do.
That's cool.
Yeah. Franco Colombo used to do that all the time.
I remember seeing some strongmen like blow up car tire inner tubes and make those explode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah.
I bet Crusher could do that.
Probably. Well, he doesn't have lips. That might be a little hard, but.
Rambi. Rambi. You mentioned Rambi the Rhino.
Yes.
Rambi the horse is back.
Rambi the good horse.
He's a very good horse, folks.
Mm-hmm.
This is the final appearance of Rambi in this game.
And what an appearance. I was surprised to find him just right out there in the open. I feel like they've been sort of hiding the animal friends the last couple worlds.
They really have. Like, we missed Rambi completely in Oil Drum Alley.
Yeah, so I was like, "Hey, Rambi, there he is, right out in the open." So I got him, and I had him through a good portion of the level. I lost him on one of those moving platforms with 2 mincers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little too tricky. I couldn't quite handle that. And also, I don't know if my control was just being funky, but like whenever I stopped with Rambi, I felt like he slid around some, and it really freaked me out because there's some pretty precise platforming here.
He's
a slidey boy, that Rambi the Rhino.
Yeah,
it seems like it takes him a little bit to get up to speed too. Like with the Kongs, you can sort of immediately just jump and you're like jumping at full speed. But with Rambi, it seems like you have to take a running start a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely do.
That.
Yeah, he takes it's hard for him to build momentum there. Kind of like Luigi, or at least like modern Luigi, or Super Mario Bros. 2 Luigi, how he takes some time to get going.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is that you hear the same sound clip when you get hit riding Rambi, which I assume is supposed to be like Rambi panicking and like throwing you off, as when you jump on the crushes and kill them. So
the Og.
Mm-hmm. So I wondered if there are lore implications for that. Like, are the crushes like a forced evolution of rhinoceroses?
Oh, and that's why they have the same sound clip.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They have the same voice actor.
Yeah.
You probably so. I mean,
we've said
honestly,
before,
it makes sense to me.
Yeah, we've said before that Kongo Island is just an island of mutants that fly in the face of nature. So, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, it's like a Godzilla situation.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of island that was nuked by the government.
In fact, new headcanon, crushes are forced mutations of the Rambis.
Well, so we're bidding adieu to Rambi here. He's been a good horse. He's carried us through thick and thin, helped us overcome some of our greatest challenges, but now we got to say goodbye. Aaron, what do you think overall of Rambi as an animal friend, kind of compared to some of the other animal friends that we know and love in this game? As a horse generally, how would you rate our good buddy Rambi?
I think that he's probably the simplest of all of the animal friends, and thus, because he's so close, your play style doesn't change as much, and he, except he can charge through things, making it. I think that he's probably one of the simpler, and therefore, does it make him one of the better? I mean, he's certainly one of the better ones. He's certainly one of the better ones.
Oh yeah, we're always happy to see him.
Yeah. So I mean, he's great. He's a great buddy. You're always excited to see him.
He's cute. He's got kind of a smile
adorable
on his face.
Yeah, he lags his little tail out like a puppy dog, or his little tongue out like a puppy dog. He's great. Yeah. He's great. What's not to love?
He's a very good horse. We're always happy to see him, and he always brings a smile to our face. Jared, even though you didn't play this level personally, you only watched the video. You've played this game before, though. What are your impressions of Rambi the Rhino? Just kind of generally speaking, what kind of emotional connection do you have to Rambi?
Yeah, I mean, he's the first animal friend you find. He's immensely fun in the early levels when there aren't a lot of hazards that he's that can knock you off of him easily. I mean, especially when they just give you a bunch of enemies to plow through at full speed. There's nothing more fun in terms of animal friends than doing that with Rambi. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely up there for me.
Yeah, it's super satisfying to just crash through just a row of enemies with Rambi nonstop.
I might contend it's almost, I would say that it's on equal footing, if not more satisfying, to jump on zingers with Winky.
Oh God, yeah, that's so good.
It feels so good.
I was going to say Winky is obviously the best horse, but Rambi is a close second.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. Espresso is definitely the worst.
Absolutely. God.
Bottom of the barrel for sure.
Like not even situational, just like bad overall.
Always. And On Guard's a great horse too. Like I've said before, I would contend that he's the best horse. But it's apples to oranges.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page there. On Guard, definitely a great horse. Straight upgrade. Always happy to see him. You see Espresso come out of that box, and you're like, oh God, it's going to be one of these levels. Oh God.
Mm-hmm. And Squawks is Squawks.
Yeah, he's Squawks.
He's a nice flashlight.
He's fulfilling his purpose in the one stage that he shows up in.
Yeah.
They should have given you On Guard in a non-water level and just have him lay there.
He just flops around.
Yeah.
Like when the fish from Super Mario World are out of the water, they just flop around pathetically.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that at that point, Donkey Kong would pick him up and actually wield him like a sword,
Oh, yeah. That actually would be really cool. That's a great idea.
It turns into Hollow Knight.
That would be so tight. Hollow Kong.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. I really wish they would have done that.
Donkey Kong just like crashing around the city of tears, just like breaking all the windows, just slapping the ground and just destroying everything.
One punching radiance into nothingness. Be great.
Oh man, I would please make that game.
I mean, just should some intrepid modder out there get on it. Stick Donkey Kong into Hollow Knight. It'll be so much fun.
I just want to hear like all the cute bug noises from that game mashed up with all the weird like animal noises from Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
So Rambi, we're going to bid you farewell, buddy.
Bye, Rambi.
He'll return in Donkey Kong Country 2, but he's not the last animal friend in this game. So, folks, we will see one more animal friend before we reach the end of our adventure, but I will say no more than that. I'll leave you in suspense to see when or who we might meet another animal.
I swear to God, if it's Espresso, I'm going to be so pissed.
I've said too much.
Please don't.
All right. Let's see here. Folks, I want to talk a little bit about the wrong warp. Boys, do you know what a wrong warp is?
I do not. That's not ringing any bells. Jared?
Yeah, me either.
All right. Well, it's kind of the opposite of a right warp.
Boo.
No, a wrong warp is a kind of warp that you can do in a lot of old platforming games. And it's a way to very quickly skip to the end of the game. You do it by performing a series of very precise, often frame perfect actions, which will basically like reprogram the game's code as you're playing it. I don't really understand the specifics of it, but I'm sure someone does. But yeah, it's like I said, it's very, very specific. And by doing these actions, you cause a lot of glitches to be happening at the same time. And eventually you reprogram the game into spitting you out in a place that you shouldn't be. Sometimes you go straight to the credits of a game. Sometimes you will go to another stage, depending on what kind of data you've altered. But Donkey Kong Country has a wrong warp, as do many platforming games of this era. And Manic Mincers is a focal node for wrong warping around this game. It's not the only stage you can do it in, but it's kind of a well-known one. There is actually in speedrunning, there's a reverse boss order category for Donkey Kong Country, meaning you defeat the boss of World 6 before you defeat any other boss. And then you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's crazy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Would you guys have ever thought such a thing was possible?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've seen such crazy stuff that people glitch into games just like by playing it and doing that sort of thing. Like, oh, it doesn't surprise me at all.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. I've seen Donkey Kong on fire off the shores of chimp caverns. I've seen Squawks glitter in the dark in torchlight trouble.
Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me. People are bonkers and will figure this stuff out, just like go digging through the code, digging and finding it and then exploiting it and seeing what happens.
They're out of their gourds. They're just completely off their nut.
You know, like it's a hobby. It's what they do for fun, and that's fine.
Yeah, no, honestly, respect. It's pretty cool. It's seriously like black magic. You know, they're basically just like wizards casting spells, you know, to the extent that I understand it. But yeah, folks, if you're unfamiliar, look up the reverse boss order video of Donkey Kong Country. They did it at a GDQ a year or two ago. But you can find other vids on YouTube. It's only like a half-hour video, but truly some wild stuff. They visit Manic Mincers many times in the video because, like I said, it's a focal point. They do the the map warp from World 1 to get to World 4, and then they do another 3, 4, 5. I forget. The one that goes to Orangutan Gang.
Right.
It's 3, I think. And then they do another wrong warp to get to Manic Mincers, and then from Manic Mincers you can wrong warp all kinds of places. The warp itself is impossible to describe. It's some combination of getting hit and throwing barrels and start selecting out of levels, and then getting hit again and jumping at the right frame and entering a bonus area at the right time. And doing all these actions very, very specifically to literally like alter the code of the game to make it do this.
I once saw an episode of Bones. Of Bones
with
where somebody
with David Boreanaz.
With David Boreanaz, that's right. Where somebody killed somebody and then carved into one of their bones this like pattern, like this a bunch of alternating levels. Like it was this weird grid pattern, and they were all different, you know, distances and everything. Very strange. So like they scanned, the people who in the bones shop scanned it into the computer, and then the computer got a virus from that scan.
What?
Yeah. And it just like wrecked their entire system and the entire FBI system, and it was this whole ordeal. And, you know, that's not how it works, obviously. But like this sort of stuff makes me think of that and be like, but maybe.
It's like the alien tone from Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Or wasn't there a famous computer hacker that like just using like with old school telephones where they had like the dial tone or whatever managed to like hack into something by like pressing the buttons?
There's a whole school of hacking that's all based on touch tone phones and like whistling or like making certain tones through the phone line, and it does different stuff.
So they're basically just like doing bird calls into the phone, and it like hacks into their bank account or something.
Yeah, sort of.
That's pretty tight. Honestly, that's a pretty good skill to have.
Armpit farts to steal identities. You always guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 though.
All right, folks. Let's wrap it up. We are concluding our discussion of Manic Mincers. It's been a wild ride. We jumped over Mincers. We explored fake bonus areas. We got one last ride on our horse buddy Rambi, who shall be dearly missed.
He shall ride into the sunset.
He'll be smashing Kremlings onto the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Gone but not forgotten.
Going the whole way.
Yeah, just like making that angry grunt the whole time. Yeah. Oh, before we go, just real quick, the sound design and the sound effects are very satisfying in this game. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Oh yeah, right. For sure. Every little one is like if it was playing by itself, you would like it's amazing. If it was playing by itself, you really generally wouldn't know, except maybe a couple of the Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong sounds, what in the world it possibly is trying to be. But then if it fits perfectly in the game, though, like it's interesting to me.
Right. You can tell they put a lot of thought into it, just tweaking them and making it so they sounded like appropriate and unique and just really satisfying.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep,
all right.
I appreciate it.
Well, we will sign off for this episode of One Stage at a Time, but we will be back in a week's time with the next episode, stage 6-3 of Donkey Kong Country, and that stage is I forgot to write it down. It possibly Misty Mine. It's a mine stage at any rate, even though
it's going to be a surprise. Come back and find out.
We're going deeper into the mines in a stage that may or may not be named Loopy Lights or Misty Mine, but we'll find out soon enough. Aaron, what do you want to tell these fine folks before we leave them today?
Well, thank you for listening, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for going on this journey with us. Be sure to come back midweek for some sweet Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Gear action. We've
Absolutely.
doing that.
Thank you for reminding us of that, Aaron.
Yeah, don't miss it. It's been it's interesting. So
it's a hot series. We've got the boss of Green Hill Zone coming up midway through the week, so be sure to tune in for that.
Yeah. Our first encounter with the doctor. So onestageatatime.com for all of our things. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. And Jared, thank you for being here with us today.
I am delighted to be here, as I said at the beginning.
Delighted at the beginning, still haven't changed at the end. We haven't managed to scare him off yet, folks.
He's got no character arc. He's just delighted all the way through.
He's a static character. He doesn't grow and change, and we like it that way.
Me too.
All right. Aaron, Jared, thanks, friends. Cheers. I'll see you next time. Jared, give us that sign off.
Save and continue.